Hey kids, History Channel guy here. So we all know that Native Americans pretty much got screwed by white settlers taking their land. But what if I were to tell you one man takes the cake of ultimate douchebaggery towards his relations with the natives? In today's quick history episode, I go over Andrew Myrick, the man who opened a store and along the way pissed off the entire Dakota nation. The year's 1862, and the whole nation is feeling the full effect of the Civil War. But I'm not going to be talking about that. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on what's going on out west. In the summer of 1862, the Dakota nation was starving due to crop failures and delayed annuity payments by the United States government. So, needless to say, the Dakota were unable to get any extra food as most of the nation's food reserves were going towards the war effort. To make matters worse, through various treaties since the 1830s, the Dakotas have been constantly ceding land to the United States. Almost all of the Dakotas were displaced, and they were forced to live on a reservation that was only 20 miles wide. As a result, the Dakota could not continue their traditional nomadic hunting practices, and with encouragement from U.S. Indian agents, they were encouraged to start farming. As already stated, the Dakotas' crops failed in 1861. The whites killed all of the local game, and with a harsh winter, the natives were desperate to find any way to put food on the table. This now brings us to our antagonist, Andrew Myrick, who operated multiple stores at two Native American agencies serving the Dakota. Rumors were swelling across the reservation that the United States wouldn't pay back their annuity payments to the Dakota because of an ongoing civil war. Kind of makes sense if you think about it. And because of the lack of resources, the local Dakota did not have anything to trade for their food. After a meeting with U.S. Indian agent Thomas Galbraith, where Galbraith announced that the Dakota would only be given limited supplies because the Confederate Army threatened Washington, D.C., Wyrick then decided that he would not sell his food to the Dakotas on credit. And when asked about it, Wyrick simply said to the Indians, "Let them eat grass." Yikes. Not a good look, Andrew. Though historians debate the legitimacy of this quote, kind of like the legitimacy of Marie Antoinette's "let them eat cake" quote, I, for one, really hope that Wyrick did say this because this makes his death so much more funny. So basically, the Dakotas have had enough, and in August of 1862, a band of natives killed 5 white settlers in Acton, Minnesota. Later that night, a group of Indian soldiers led by Chief Little Crow attacked the Lower Sioux Indian Agency in an attempt to drive all the settlers off the Dakotas' territory. Of the men killed in the Little Crow raid was Andrew Myrick himself, who reportedly had his body mutilated with his mouth full of grass. You got that right, ladies and gentlemen. The man who told the natives to just eat grass was killed, and his mouth was stuffed with it. Stuffed with grass. Poetic justice. Anyway, the Dakota War started out strong for the natives, but the might of the United States Army eventually won, and even in the middle of the Civil War, it was too much for the natives to handle. By the end of the war, over 2,000 Dakota men were captured, and 38 of them were hung, which became the largest mass execution in United States history. What is even more disgusting is that after the war, over 1,600 non-combatants natives, including women and children, were interned on Pike Island. The living conditions on Pike Island were abhorrent. Measles and other diseases were everywhere, and within just a year, it is estimated that 300 Dakotas died. Yeah, not a good look, U.S. government. In 1863, the United States decided to abolish the Dakota Reservation completely, and it was now illegal for any Dakota to be within Minnesota. To make sure this law was enforced, the U.S. government put a $25 bounty for any male Dakota scalp found within the previous reservation boundaries. The removal of the Dakota from Minnesota is basically another Trail of Tears, just one that's not written about. 1,300 Dakotas were cramped on steamboats and were moved to Crow Creek Reservation, which is a region which was stricken with drought upon arrival. Over the next few months, 200 Dakotas died of drought. Much of the American public, including President Lincoln, was oblivious to the actions done to the Dakotas. In fact, Until the 1900s, historical accounts were only told by the white settlers in the regions, ensuring the atrocities done to the Dakotas were never spoken of. Though I am against wars, I do understand where the Dakota were coming from. They were constantly being screwed over by the United States, and they simply had enough. In 2021, the Minnesota State Legislature and the Minnesota Historical Society gave 115 acres of land back to the Lower Sioux Indian community. So, in a weird way, the natives eventually got their land back, even if it took over 150 years. So, that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you for watching, and if you tell someone, especially the natives, to eat grass, do not be surprised when you wake up with a mouthful of grass. That's going to be my public service announcement of the day. Like, seriously, did Myrick make this comment because he believed that the natives could survive off grass, or was he just being a jerk? I'm going to go if he was just being a bigot who just wanted to take advantage of the natives, but who knows for sure what was going on in his head. Anyway, remember to like and subscribe for more quick history content, and let me know if you have any video suggestions. Thanks, guys. Bye.